Hello there. Come on in and sit down with me for a minute. I'm Jenn. You may also know me as the Awakened Jenn. And I'm just having some quiet time here with my guides that I also call the council. I've been sitting with the energy for this week and I want to show you what's coming through. I'd like to start looking into the energy once a week, just letting you see my process of just kind of how I, read the energy that's coming. And this week, this is the week where we stop trying to make relationships work and where we start asking, does this even meet me anymore? So I've already pulled some cards here from the Fairy Tarot, and they're already telling a very compelling story. And so you'll recognize yourself in it very, very quickly if this is you. And so I'm going to just say the central character here this week is this Queen of Wands energy. And so with the Queen of Wands energy, hold on, I need to make sure that my sound is actually coming from where I want it to. But with the Queen of Wands energy, let's see. There we go. That should sound better now. She knows her worth. She knows her value. She is ready to stand up for herself. She is not willing to settle for less than what she knows that she deserves. So she's really, really looking at her relationships this week. And so the overall energy this week is this Three of Cups. And so with the Three of Cups, this is really looking at your friend group. So this isn't just romantic relationships that we're looking at, but with this Two of Cups, we're definitely looking at those for sure. But we're looking at all of the connections and seeing what the alignment is. So it's just kind of this evaluation period that we're in. Do these connections still fit with the life that I'm creating, the life I've created, the life that I want to create? And so with the trigger is going to come with this Two of Cups. And so the Two of Cups comes from a high level soulmate connection. And we have all kinds of soulmates. We can have, even our pets can be soulmates, our children, our parents, our friends. So this does usually talk about, high level romantic partners, and it can be, all the way from, life partners, karmics, catalyst, and twin flames. But you have some sort of soul mission when you see this card and this card together. So I mean, these are definitely, we're looking at where do these people really fit, what is their real alignment to my life. And so the way that we're feeling about it is this Queen of Wands. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. She's looking over all of this, all of the people that she has brought into her life or have come into her life that she's accumulated, and she's seeing what is the alignment here. What's the real alignment here? Who is this real, true bond, and who is just kind of hanging on just out of like habit, out of, I picked them up along the way. And I mean, our Facebook group, our Facebook friends list usually can show you those types of friendships where you've just kind of picked them up through different seasons of your life, but they're no longer in alignment. And so it's like, you're really looking at who is, who's actually in alignment with me, who it's like you're measuring up who adds to my life and who takes from my life. And so it's really an evaluation process. Our challenge is the Six of Swords. And I kind of laughed when this energy came through, because with this Queen of Wands energy, she is kind of fiery. She has a temper. She has, she has some heat behind her. And it's like, I'm trying to get away from the way that was in the past, but I can't seem to get to this calmer water. I'm trying to get to that calmer place, but I can't seem to get there. And it's because she's still hanging on to these old friend groups that trigger these old parts of her. She's already kind of detached herself from those parts of her, but because she's still parts of the same, circles that supported that, that's why those pieces are still coming out. So like, you've got people who are argumentative Like they're going to be argumentative no matter what you do. And so anytime you get yourself in that environment, you can expect you're going to have an argument. And so that's what, like, I see with her is she's got the fire of this Queen of Wands, but she's like, but I want things to be easier. I want to move to, like I want, to be that higher person. And it's just like, I'm struggling because I still feel, the heat. With this Six of Pentacles, this is the opportunity. And so the opportunity is really, this is the evaluation. It's like, so who's pouring in and who is draining out? It's not supposed to be one gives more than the other. It's supposed to be equal energetic exchange. And so this is really evaluating all of the connections, particularly those ones that are the closest to you right now, and seeing how do they actually line up to the life that you're trying to create, especially if it's one of this Six of Swords where, I'm trying to move to calmer days. I'm trying to move to, I want peace. I want stability. I don't want to live in the trauma patterns and the chaos and survival my whole life. I want something, easier. And it's just like, what am I going to have to give up in order to attain this? And so that's really what, it's very difficult. This is not going to be easy. And we have powerful energy that's moving with this, is bringing in all of this with us. And so we just had the equinox that we moved into. And so for the northern hemisphere, we just moved into spring. And for the southern, it would be moving into fall. But you're moving into these season changes. And now that we're moving into, for the northern hemisphere, the days are getting longer again. So you have more of the balance of the light and dark is coming back. We also moved into Aries season over this past week. And so Aries brings in, this is the Queen of Wands. This is like, I'm ready to move. I have to stand my ground. I know my worth. And it's just like, I'm not going to let anybody trample all over me. I had been pulling this 3-2-1 energy for a while, that this was the ignition point, because this is the moment. Like, we've been doing so much karmic work. We've been working through so many karmic lessons and collapsing so many timelines that now then it's like this 3-2-1 moment is just like, which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to keep doing the things of the past? Or are you finally going to move to those calmer waters? Are you going to finally choose something different that gets you out of that trauma cycle, out of the, those toxic, that's just never going to lead to anything, the circular conversations, all of that? Are you going to do something different? And so we also have angel number 444 was part of this energy too. And so there's truth coming in with this, because I feel Archangel Michael is all over all of this energy right now. And he's just sorting out, he's cutting cords, he's bringing truth to the surface. He's helping you even know how to speak it. And so if you're having to have some difficult conversations, one of the things that I do even for myself is I call in Archangel Michael to place a bubble of protection around us, so that only beings of the highest vibration of pure love and light may enter in. That way we can be protected. I ask Archangel Michael to help bring truth to the surface, help me know how to speak the truth in a way that does not harm, and brings protection over the other people that I'm talking to as well, because these are people that you care about. These are, definitely people that, it will be a difficult conversation. This will be something difficult to determine whether or not these people are contributing to your peace, or whether they are actually bringing you out of alignment. Yes, this is a powerful week that we're looking at our relationships. And one phrase that came out from that really made me, caught me, was, but I wanted it to work. How many of us really can relate to just that right there? But I wanted it to work. And some of us want it to work so bad that we will, spend years of our lives trying to make something work that was never meant to work in the first place. It was always meant to teach us a certain lesson for a certain season, but we held on to it too long because we wanted it to work. Maybe it was doing exactly what it was already meant to do. Maybe it already completed the thing that it was meant to accomplish. But yet we're still trying to force it to be something that it was never meant to be. So we've got some questions that I want you to think about as we go deeper with this reading, which I'm going to pull some clarifying questions on top of this. And I've got some other decks set out that we can pull some energy from as well, just to get a fuller sense of this reading. But I mean, I think that you know right now whether this is what you're dealing with already. And even deeper, when you start thinking about, who in your life feels easy right now and who feels like effort, because that's kind of how we're looking at things. It's like, you just keep putting in the work over and over and over. Where are you being fully met, and where are you doing the emotional heavy lifting? So which relationships are causing you to put in way more effort and are draining you emotionally because they're not meeting you even halfway? Is there a connection that you've been trying to figure out that suddenly just feels obvious about what you need to do with? Because sometimes, like, we get ourselves stuck in the trying to make it work, and then we finally realize what it really is. And once we realize what it really is, and we see that, oh, it accomplished what it was supposed to accomplish. It woke me up to this realization that this is a possibility for me. Like it woke up something about you that needed to be shifted, and you did that. So now then you can kind of move on. That's your closure, for your acceptance and closure that you need. And then just another question to really think about in some of our like more extended connections is, if you stopped reaching out, explaining, or overgiving, what do you think would happen? If you just pulled your energy completely back to yourself and focused only on you, what do you think would happen to that connection? Is that connection sustainable without you completely pouring yourself into it? That's the questions that you're looking at as you're contemplating the connections around you this week. It's 11:11 on my clock, so I think that that's a special message of alignment that's coming in. So we're going to look deeper with the tarot. I've already pre-shuffled these cards, and so we want to look at, so what truth have I already seen, or have we already seen in these situations that we have not acted upon yet? What truth? We have judgment, that your decision about this situation has already been made. You're sitting here acting like you're still trying to decide, that you're still trying to decide, that you're still trying to decide. So when you're still trying to decide, you need more evidence, you need more information, you need more, so you're still looking for something to make the decision. But right here says you've already made your decision. You haven't accepted your decision because you know it comes with consequences. But you've already made your decision. The decision is made. Where have we been overriding our knowing in this connection? We have the Three of Pentacles. So this is what's compatible and what isn't. What is true compatibility and what is not actual compatibility. What actually works without trying to force it, and what naturally just kind of comes together. You know the difference between force and flow. And this feels like there's a lot more force than is necessary for anyone involved. Is this connection actually mutual, or are we just the ones maintaining it? We have the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords definitely doesn't lead to this is mutual. This is definitely, it comes with a heavy burden. It comes with a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. You have to be able to hold a lot. And it's not like you're doing this on your own. You're carrying the burden on your own. What are we giving here that isn't being returned? We have the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is about boundaries. But see, I think that in this situation, we're giving away our boundaries, but they aren't. And I think that's something really important to think about, because I've thought about this a lot just recently, is that, just how easy it is to have your boundaries just like plowed over. But like usually the ones who will plow right over your boundaries will be the ones holding strongest to their boundaries. And so they don't want you to have boundaries, but you better believe they're going to have boundaries. And so, like, you're not allowed to do this, but they have to do this, and it's like, it's okay when they do it because XYZ. There's always a reason that makes it make sense for them. But for you, you're being mean, you're being selfish, you're being rude, you're being, all of these other things when you try to set your boundaries. So it's like this fight over your boundaries. It's a fight over boundaries right here. Okay. The alignment layer. So what would choosing ourselves look like here in real life? If we just, like, I'm not choosing a connection or not choosing the connection, I'm choosing myself, what's in the highest alignment of myself. What does that actually look like? We have temperance. So temperance says we don't necessarily clean cut and end this, and this is also Archangel Michael's energy too. We don't necessarily have to cut and just completely end, but we do need to bring some space. We do need to slow things down, slow down the temperament, which, we've got the Queen of Wands. She's already hot. So we need to get her back into a baseline where she doesn't feel like she has to walk in with the heat, where she knows that, like, okay, like, things are good. And then she can just bring out the radiance and the joy and the creativity and, just that energy instead of just like the harshness. So there's a balance here that needs to happen, because it's her nervous system that is is actually telling the real story of this situation. The more she gets hot and that, like, indignant, that's a word I definitely felt with this energy, is indignant. The more she feels indignant, you better watch out. Like the fire is going to burn you. But then when, she's able to just bring it down and be in her peace, it will warm you. It will, like, sustain you. So I mean, it's like, just think about, the sun. The sun can feel really, really, really great, or it can scorch you. So it just depends on, where's the filter here, where's the baseline of this. Okay. So what are we afraid will happen if we stop overcompensating here? The Ace of Swords. Oh, we have to face the truth. Oh, and you know what the truth does? The truth causes us to actually have to do something with it. The truth causes us to have to actually make different decisions, because we can't be in denial anymore once the truth enters the room. And so now then she looks at this and she sees the truth and she knows I have to do something with this, because I know who I am. I know what I deserve. I know what I cannot put up with. And so it's like, once the truth hits the room, you've got to do something about it. But that's just something that we also fear, is the doing something about it. What are we being guided to move away from, even if it's uncomfortable? The Lovers. Oh. So, and this is putting too much weight on the actual connection. So when choosing us means giving up me, then that's too much. The cost is too much. And so this is like, we've really got, because we will put these labels on these connections. We can call them, all kinds of things. You're my soulmate is, the most common, but we, have labels like twin flames, and those can make you think, this is like, it has to work. I have to make it work. But what if the cost of that connection is you? What if to have us, you have to completely give up you? Then the cost may be too much, no matter, what we call this connection. Because it can be, I feel like that these are real soul connections that we're talking about. These matter. These are connections that absolutely matter. But have we put too much weight on the label that we've called it and the meaning that we've given it to the truth of the actual situation? That's what we're being asked to look at this week. So, what is our best move forward right now? We have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is the cognitive dissonance, and that's the thing that holds people back. This keeps you stuck in your freeze response because it's like one part of you knows what to do, but the other part is not ready to get on board. And so usually, the brain knows much quicker than the heart will allow. And so it's just letting the heart catch up. And so this feels like there needs to be a period of detachment that needs to happen. This is why it's not just a clean cut. That's why Temperance showed up. It's not just a clean cut. You have to wean yourself, let the truth continue to filter in and replace the illusion. And so, it's going to be a slow process because this has been so strong. This is the cognitive dissonance. You don't want to believe that there's no way this works. See, and I just keep coming back that, but I wanted it to work. But I wanted it to work. Like that's what I feel. It's just like that heaviness, but I wanted it to work. And then it's not working. You can see it. The reality is showing you exactly what you need to see, and it's not working. So what do you do with that? And this is, again, just slowly allowing the truth to continue to infiltrate until you feel strong enough and confident enough. Because once you know, like, this is what I need to do, like, it doesn't become scary anymore. Once you hold the fullness of the truth, it doesn't become scary anymore. It's just you're not holding the full truth because you're scared to. Because holding the full truth means you have to do something with it, and you don't want to have to do something with it. You want them to just get into alignment, but that's not the reality of this situation. That's not the piece you can even control. All right, so what does this situation look like in 1 week? We have the Ten of Pentacles, so that looks pretty good. So, this could be someone who's finally choosing, this is the life I know I want. So within a week, you may have already made this decision, and it brings it, this isn't like immediate happiness, immediate wealth, abundance, and all of the life that this is somebody who just realized, this is what I know I want, and this is what I choose. I see it now. It makes sense to me now. Whew. All right. So I'm going to use a few other decks before we close this out. But we're going to start with Heart's Hidden Secrets. And so with Heart's Hidden Secrets, let's see if I can pull these in front of you. If it'll work. Okay, Heart's Hidden Secrets. What is being felt but not said within the connection we've been talking about today? We have spying. Someone has definitely been watching every single move you're making. They're paying attention to all of it, because what I'm picking up, they're paying attention to even like the micro movements that you make. So like just even like a look on your face, the way that you text, the way that you just your patterns, they're paying attention. They're paying attention to everything right now. We have intimacy, the bond. Let's see. Where is this being felt? Oh, okay. This is the part that keeps you stuck. This is the part this is the attachment that you're still feeling. Broken, you know that it's not working, but it hurts to even confront that. You know that whatever this thing is, it hurts more than it feels good. But yet, this piece is real. The bond is real. The connection was real. There's no denying that. And that's why this piece still hurts. Okay. With wisdom of the oracle, what is the true nature of this connection right now? Oops. Well, I just lost a bunch of cards. You know. All right. Do this again. See if I can do it without making a mess. What is the true nature of this connection right now? We have why. We are definitely trying to figure out like all the questions. This is where all of our questions are coming to the surface, and we're not just taking someone's word for things anymore. We're really trying to make things make sense, trying to put all the pieces together. And this is just where we're questioning, why are we still doing this? If it's not working and we've said it this way and we've tried it this way and we've done it this way, why are we still doing this? So, I mean, it's just, we're really getting down to it now. We're really questioning things right now. That's the evaluation energy that I talked about. With the Oracle of the Council, which is my deck. Let's see. What is this connection here to teach or activate? Soul retrieval, calling yourself home, 313, heart chakra, burgundy, the path of transmutation. And so this was to show you a piece of yourself. This contract was real. It was to show you a piece of yourself that needed to come back to you. And so like there was just this piece that you were still giving away. And that's why this Queen of Wands energy came out feeling quite indignant, because that piece of you was screaming. That's how you even recognize that piece in you anymore. It's like, hey, wait a minute, I'm here. You're not going to bulldoze right over me. I'm still here. I'm still here, and I want to be seen. I want to be expressed. I want to be heard. I want to be known. And so that piece of you has come back, quite loud. And it's just, it's the part that just, you've settled too long. You've tried this too many times and too many other connections. And you know how it ends when you do that. It always ends in resentment. It just keeps a toxic loop going. Nobody actually wins. And this is one of those almost like, teaching the person to fish versus just giving them the fish. It's like this is an enabling situation. And so until you pull yourself back and pull this piece of you that knows you deserve better than the treatment that you've been experiencing in this, you know what works and what doesn't work, and you don't force things to work. You allow things to just fit together the way they're naturally meant to fit together. With the yes and no oracle, we are looking at this this connection that we've been talking about this whole time. Is this in alignment with our highest path right now? No. The clockwork of huge hulking machine of change will chug faster and faster, accelerating everything around you. Many new people come into your life, bringing unusual but bright opportunities. You will not notice how the changes smoothly alter your attitude and perception of the situation. And so, no, but you're going to have, these changes. And so it's like the machine of change will chug faster and faster. And so, in just everything around you, you make one little decision here and it just starts shifting everything in the whole timeline around you. And so, yeah, you're going to get to the other side of this and you're probably going to have a life you don't recognize, but it's going to be much more in alignment into the life that you actually want because you're making decisions that are in alignment with what you actually want. And so, like we already looked at, 1 week from now, we really do have a clear vision of what kind of life do we actually want to live. And so, once you have that clear vision, and we know our decision about this connection has already been made. We need to come back to that too. The decision about this connection has already been made. We've just not acted on it yet. We're not acting on it because we're afraid to own the full truth. We're afraid. We haven't accepted the full truth, and that's just cognitive dissonance, and that's normal. When you're, really making these big decisions about what to do with connections that definitely matter to you in the long term, it's just like, you don't want to have to release people. You don't want to have to do that actually you do care about. You do care about these people, but are they in alignment? That's your question now. All right, so I'm going to close this out with just any final guidance about moving ahead this week. So let's see what we have. We have the King of Cups. And I love that because that's about using your emotional intelligence to know how to show up for people, to know how to hold people. Because we're literally holding people's hearts through this. And that's what I'm feeling. It's just like we don't want to destroy these people. We care about these people. So, how do we do this in a way that holds their dignity, but also ours too? So that's where, this Queen of Wands, she can't come in just super hot and burn the place down. She has to feel, okay, this something has to be done because the bomb is about to explode. She has to feel that within herself, but she has to manage that wave of emotion through like this, she has to manage the storm. I mean, she has to do it in a way that doesn't destroy, doesn't burn things down. That's the path of alignment.